and Courtney. The bride and groom request the joyful sight of your smiles without the distraction of electronic devices. So in other words, this is an unplugged ceremony. Please silence your phones and put them away, but feel free to take pictures after the ceremony. Good evening, everyone. How excited are we that Jack and Courtney are finally getting married? Thank you all so much for traveling here today to be a part of one of the most amazing moments in the lives of this amazing couple that stands before us. So now we invite you to leave behind the worries and concerns of everyday life for a few moments and join us in the celebration of this marriage. This is an opportunity for us not to share only in the joy of Jack and Courtney's love, but to reaffirm and appreciate love and the friendship we experience in our own lives. May we all celebrate by being fully present during our short time together. For those who don't know me, my name is Huntington Paulson, and I cannot express how deeply honored I am to be able to speak before you today to the love shared between Jack and Courtney. To give a little background, I've known Courtney since kindergarten, and I've known Jack since high school, and I've known Jack and Courtney as a couple for nearly a decade. And the only thing better than having two best friends who you love is seeing your friends fall in love with each other and become each other's best friends. As I've said, I've known Courtney since kindergarten. She's one of the few friends I've known for most of my life. We went from kids to awkward middle schoolers to high school to finally trying to be adults together. We traveled to Europe on an 8th grade field trip, and we've celebrated many homecomings and proms together. To give you a look into our early friendship and to embarrass Courtney just a little bit today, I am going to read to you what she wrote in my 7th grade yearbook. Quote, "Hey twin, OMG, I heart you so much. We've been besties since kindergarten, OMG. Love, your blonde, crazy, pink, favorite Barbie twin, Courtney." Now, when I first met Jack, I happened to be only wearing a Speedo. But luckily, Jack was wearing a Speedo as well. It was during our first water polo practice. We were both new freshmen at San Pasquale High School, trying out for the San Pasquale High School water polo team. We happened to be swimming in the same lane of the pool that San Pasquale High School was reserving. And I emphasized San Pasquale so much because being a little socially awkward, I looked at Jack and trying to make conversation but not knowing what to say, asked him, "What school do you go to?" And he said, confusingly, "San Pasquale." This is a San Pasquale water polo team tryout. So basically, the beginning of our friendship began with a stupid question. And I think that fact perfectly sums up me and Jack's friendship. I remember in high school when me, Jack, and Courtney were all hanging out in the same friend group. Our friend group started to notice that Jack and Courtney were maybe starting to like each other. And being in high school, we naturally started to tease them a lot about this. I don't think Jack and Courtney know this, but we used to take secret Snapchats and pictures of them with hearts and kissy faces around them, and caption the pictures, "When are these two going to go out already?" And thankfully, that would be the case by the end of junior year. This is also the time that I started dating as well. And I bring this up because I went on a lot of double dates with Jack and Courtney. They are probably the couple I have been on the most double dates with. And let me tell you now, if you haven't been on a double date with Jack and Courtney, I highly recommend it. Me and my date would be sitting across from Jack and Courtney. Jack would then proceed to make the weirdest and funniest faces that only me and my date would see. And every time Courtney would turn to look at him, he would act normal and act like me and my date were being the weird ones. For my dates who didn't really know Jack beforehand, I had the privilege of explaining this as completely normal Jack behavior. The great thing about being there since the beginning of Jack and Courtney's relationship is that you get to witness a lot of their firsts together. I was there when Jack first had Courtney from via a scavenger hunt in the park. And I was there 10 years later when Jack asked Courtney to marry him, also via a scavenger hunt in Balboa Park. I remember hearing about the first time they went on a date together, the first time they kissed, and hearing about the first time they told each other, "I love you." What's even better is that me, Jack, and Courtney had a lot of our firsts together as well. We all went to Yellowstone for the first time together and got to look at the bison grazing over the amazing fields of the park. We've been on many road trips together, and I've seen many places with them for the first time. Jack and Courtney were even there when I drank alcohol for the first time. And this is crazy because we were only 21. And now, everyone here gets to celebrate a first for this couple as well. One of the most important firsts in the lives of this couple. To be successful, you will need lots of love, vulnerability, transparency, courage, and a really good sense of humor, which I know you both possess. So let your marriage be a time of waking up each morning and falling in love with each other all over again. So I asked Jack and Courtney to answer a few questions about one another without showing each other the answers. And now I'm going to share those answers with you. The first question was, Jack, what was your first impression of Courtney? And Jack says, Courtney was in my honors pre-calc class. We got our first quiz back together, and I got 100%. I don't know what Courtney got, but it definitely wasn't 100%. Afterwards, she came up to me and asked if I would be interested in tutoring her. And I said, yeah, why not? Sounds like fun. So Jack started to tutor Courtney, and I asked him if he was interested in her during this time. Jack said he wasn't even interested in dating during this time. Jack continued to tutor Courtney and become really good friends. And it was only after becoming friends that Jack realized he wanted to pursue a more intimate relationship with Courtney. Jack said this was a big deal for him, because for every other relationship he had been in, he was never friends with them beforehand. But for Courtney, he had already gotten so close with her. I asked Courtney the same question, and she said, I remember I met Jack through Huntington and Tyler. Jack definitely liked me way before I liked him. I was having a really hard time in math, so I went up to him and asked if he would tutor me. At this time, I didn't like him. In fact, I thought he was kind of goofy. He would wear suits to school and carry around briefcase, and I thought to myself, this is not your typical high school guy. I heard through mutual friends that Jack liked me and had been trying to flirt with me, so I started flirting back with him. And then he asked me out, and here we are. The next question was, Jack, when did you know you had fallen in love? And Jack said, I have a lot of trouble knowing when I was in love with Courtney because there was never a single point or defining moment. It was a very natural and gradual progression of love. Back in high school, I was in high school love with Courtney, and our love has changed so much since then. We are completely different people than we were in high school. But it is great being in love with Courtney in different ways now than we originally were. Courtney said, I remember we had been dating for only a few months. I was getting ready for junior prom with my friend in the bathroom. I was talking about Jack, and my friend said, you and Jack have only been dating for a couple months. You can't seriously be in love with this guy. And I remember thinking to myself, I think I actually love this guy. I think this is what love is. For some reason, it just clicked on prom night that I loved him. Later that night, without telling Jack this, Jack would say I love you to Courtney for the first time. The next question was, Jack, what is Courtney's most endearing quality? Jack said, I love Courtney's passions for topics. She will get interested in something and learn everything there is to learn about it. She watched a documentary about the band Queen, and then learned so many Queen songs, and just got really into it. She watched a show on flower arranging, and then picked it up as a hobby, and got really good at it. Jack says it is inspiring to see how passionate Courtney gets about these random new hobbies. I asked Courtney, and she said, Jack is just a fun, funny, sweet person. If I am crying or upset, he can always bring me out of it. He always makes me laugh. He can say the stupidest joke in the world, and I will find it so funny that I'm in tears. He never holds me back. He is always willing to learn new things and hobbies with me, and is always there to encourage me. If I am in trouble or something bad is happening, I know he will drop everything and be there for me. Then I asked Jack and Courtney, what do you love to do together? And Jack said literally anything. I love how easy and effortless it feels to spend time together. I love watching new shows with Courtney. But when I asked if Jack would watch The Bachelor with Courtney, he said no. Jack says, hard no. Jack says raising a dog with Courtney has also been super fun. Getting a gift from Courtney is nice, but when she takes the dog out to pee early in the morning, it makes me the happiest man alive. Jack loves to just chill and exist with Courtney, but he also loves going on adventures with her. He says, I love exploring national parks, going camping, and hiking together. And I love the spontaneous date nights we have where we randomly decide to go out. Courtney said, I love watching new shows with Jack, but he will not watch The Bachelor. I love going to bed early so we can both read in bed together. It is fun raising a dog together, and it is super cute seeing Jack become a dog dad. I was never worried about living with Jack, and tried to convince him to live with me for a while. I love living with him because of how much I get to see him. Before 2020, I remember hating to go to work and never getting to see Jack, and I wish there was some way we could both work remotely from home. You got your wish.
I like it.
She says, I love having a dance party with him in the kitchen as we cook. I love living with him because it's like having a sleepover with your best friend every day. Lastly, I asked them, what are you looking forward to in the future? And I love both of their answers to this question because they are both very similar. Jack answered, I want to take our dog exploring in national parks with us. But besides that, to me, the beauty of our relationship is that getting married doesn't really change us with time, because our relationship is so solid. Of course there will be growth, but I look forward to whatever happens. The future is comforting, knowing that whatever happens, it will still be us. We already know each other and understand each other pretty well, but we are still learning more about ourselves. We are still very much growing up, and I look forward to doing what we always do. Courtney said, we will probably add on another dog for our current dog, Yosie, to play with. I want to travel and experience new hobbies with Jack, and just go on fun adventures with him and our dog. In the near future, we want to take Yosie camping with us and raise her as our adventure dog. I honestly still feel halfway like a kid and not fully an adult. I don't want to rush into anything, and whatever happens, happens. I love hosting people at our house with Jack, making drinks with him, or playing games with him, and want to have a fun, open house with him where anyone is welcome. Whether it's hobbies or traveling, it's just fun with Jack, no matter what we are doing. And now, Courtney has a special message she would like to say to Jack.
Jack, my best friend. I was watching a show last week, and one of the characters said, some feelings are too big for words, but I'm going to try to find the right ones for this. 10.5 years ago, we were just two 17-year-olds going on our first date. We got to In-N-Out, took the train to Oceanside, and watched dolphins swimming off the pier at sunset. I think if 17-year-old even me could see where they ended up, I think they'd be pretty shocked and so excited, especially knowing we'll be going to Maui to snorkel with dolphins in a few weeks. When we were in high school, we talked about all the dogs we were going to rescue together. And now this year we rescued our very first one. Watching me become a dog dad to our sweet German Shepherd mutt, Yosie, has been one of the best things I've gotten to witness in my life. The amount of love and compassion you have for her grows every day, and I'm so lucky to watch that flourish. One of the reasons why I fell in love with you is because of your sense of humor. You always make me laugh. Whether I'm upset and crying, you can always make me feel better by telling me a joke. me laughing for our entire lives, and I know this for a couple of reasons. First, I know it'll keep me laughing in our 60s. You can look at your dad for that. As he has a never-ending memory of jokes. He can keep everyone laughing at all times, and you are your father's son, so I have no doubt that you'll continue to do that with me and our friends. But it doesn't stop there. I know you'll keep me laughing well into our 80s and 90s because there's one more person we have to look to for this day. Sadly, the sweet, funny, badass man in his 90s with his German Shepherd is no longer with us, but Grandpa Dick also had a great sense of humor. What most people don't know is that Grandpa Dick and I had a nearly decade-long running joke, and he never failed me on it from the first conversation I had with him to one of the last ones. I'd hug him, and he'd lean in close to me, and he'd hold up his fist. And he'd ask me, "Is he treating you okay? Because if not, we'll give him one of these." And I would say, "Oh yes, don't worry, he is." But every once in a while, just to see his reaction and tell him, "I don't know." And he'd look over at you and he'd be like, "I'll give you one of these." And he'd wink at me and we'd all laugh. I don't think I realized it until recently, but from that first conversation with him, he welcomed me into the family immediately. So, I know vows can be cheesy, but there are a few promises that I can make to you. I promise to always dance in the kitchen with you while we're making dinner, our own dance party of 2. To practice your magic tricks with you so you can impress our friends. To play the best board games and build our own cabinet full of them. To never stop laughing so hard that it leaves me in tears, even when it's over nothing. To cuddle with you and Yossi, and to always love you. I'm so excited for a lifetime of adventures with you as my funny husband and our sweet German Shepherd puppy as we grow old for all the amazing experiences we're going to have together. I love
Courtney. Grayson, you here. In all seriousness, though, you know stuff. When preparing to write these, I figured it would be best to start with some perspective. At this point in our lives, we have been partners for more than a third of our lives. Together, we survived high school, college, good roommates, bad roommates, first jobs, a pandemic, and most importantly, raising our sweet little Julios. You've been with me as I went from an obnoxious teenager to a poor, starving college student to an obnoxious adult. You've been supportive of me in my many, many hobbies, no matter how short-lived they are. And you always encourage me to try new things. It's hard for me to express how grateful to you I am for every single one of those moments, good and bad. And I can honestly say that I'm a better person today because of you. So, allow me to express my gratitude with the following promises. I will do my best to always close the cabinets. I will always cut your grilled cheese diagonally at least once. And I promise to always make time to do nothing, to ensure that we have time to relax together and just enjoy each other's company. And lastly, I promise to always seek out new ways to make you laugh. That no matter how hard things get, we will always be able to face them with a smile on our face. And lastly, you will always know how much I love you, because I'll tell you each and every day. After being together since high school, it's hard to believe that this is finally happening. And though not knowing what the future holds seems scary, I know that you and our many future dogs can face anything. So with that, onward to our next adventure. friends. To express your love and commitment to each other. You can face any fears, knowing that each other are your strength. May you remain each other's favorite person, adventure buddies, and best friends. May you look at the rest of your lives together as your next greatest adventure. And know that when you two are together, you are exactly where you are meant to be. Jack and Courtney, as your best friend, it is my absolute honor to now pronounce you as husband and wife. You may kiss the bride. To all the friends and family who came to celebrate this awesome marriage, I take great pleasure in presenting for the first time Mr. and Mrs. Jack and Courtney Wheelocke.